Hello, guys and gals. Me, Budahar, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today's episode will be all about the magical world of Battlefield 5 and likewise thoughts about it. But before we begin, I am going to introduce my friends, or let them actually take care of it for me.
Hello, everyone. This is Umaru.
This is Asagon. I almost said Goon. Asagon.
And this is Extreme Elixir.
Also known as Carlito. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode hits me near and dear personally because we're talking about a franchise that I wouldn't say grown the fuck up with, because I actually only got around to it during my high school year, which is Battlefield. So before we begin, you guys ever played a Battlefield game, or is it just me? Is it just me?
I think
the only one I ever played was Bad Company 2.
I don't remember which is the one with the Vietnam War.
That's Bad Company 2, but it's the Vietnam DLC.
Because I remember doing something with like the Hueys when I just basically me and my friend wanted to play Sonic, so he went into the plane's wing. I stayed. You know how Sonic stands on the wings of the plane? So the guy got into a plane. I just stand on the plane, and then the fucking guy went on, and they just die instantly. Because
why the fuck weren't you on my enemy team, motherfucker?
Well, it was years ago, and damn, not only that, but he opened like the back part of it when I was there. Then he started to fly vertically. The asshole started to fly vertically with the door open, and I fucking fell off.
Okay, well that's a brilliant Battlefield experience, by the way.
That's my only Battlefield experience. Oh, and that, yeah.
I guess that makes me the black sheep because I've never played a Battlefield game.
All right, so for anybody that doesn't know what Battlefield is or hasn't played it, basically it's a game where 64 fucking players, maximum, get into a server together, 32 on 32 usually, and they fight over flags. Sometimes you have different game modes, It's got land, sea, air. It's basically tactical war zone. Now it has a battle royale, but this is before such a...
called?
What?
I have that page open because it was on the page that we were going to talk about. It's called Firestorm, and you don't want to know what's funny? They don't increase the amount of players.
It's just 64 players now.
So I was about to ask, is like, how is this any different from like Battlefield
Okay, Battlefield, for anybody that hasn't played it, for me the gameplay comes down to when you have a really solid set of teams. For me, Battlefield's like I almost play it sort of like a 4-on-4 type mechanic, where basically how Battlefield works is it's a whole match of 64 people, 32 on 32 sides, and within those 32 players they have 4-man squads each. So really, when you look at it, the battles go down to these like 4v4s, and because there's so many of them happening around you have this really good ambience of total war happening around you. But usually the gameplay is relegated to capturing flags, and basically the goal is to wipe out your enemies' respawn tickets, right? So the only way to wipe them out is to make them respawn, so kill them over and over again. And if you have majority of flag captures, then they automatically start bleeding tickets. There's other game modes like Rush, where basically you have lives, like 300 attacker lives, and they have to blow up 2 stations and progress the map forward and forward and forward. So there's other game modes as well, but these are the 2 that usually people stick with. There's like Team Deathmatch, but at that point, just go fucking play Call of Duty or something. Like this isn't going to be your cup of tea. So that's what we're talking about gameplay wise. And when I heard about that Battle Royale, by the way, it was fucking pathetic, because I said almost the exact same thing. I was like, if you have 64 players regularly, and then you're going to have 64 players in a battle royale, typically Battlefield is always those games that is pushing the player counts, right? Like when you look at Call of Duty, when you're looking at COD, right? It's like, oh wow, 6-on-6 is the max, right? That we ever really got. I think it's 9-on-9, which was like ground war back in the day. And then they fucking puddled it down. Battlefield was always those games, even at its lowest peak. I believe it was always 24 on consoles, but it was 64 on PC, right? Battlefield was fucking intense with where it went to. So this is just flat out insulting, right? To have, and I know there's people who are like, oh, but you haven't seen the fucking gameplay mood. Okay, look, I haven't seen the fucking Battlefield 5 Battle Royale gameplay, but when Call of Duty's pushing fucking 20 more players, and even counting higher, because Treyarch says they can, then it's fucked up when COD is doing a better job than Battlefield at epic scale warfare.
I think the only selling point that they have for Firestorm right now is literally what they referred to as a sandbox, because it's supposed to be like their largest Battlefield map that they've ever made.
The thing
that they're using for Firestorm, and they've referred it to as a sandbox filled with destructible buildings and weaponry and vehicles. But I've never played a Battlefield game, but when I think of Battlefield, I definitely think more about the destructibility of the environment and the wide scale range of everything that's happening.
Well, that's sort of a big thing. If you ever played Bad Company, which I've never played Bad Company, I started really getting into Battlefield around 3. I played a bunch of it before, like when we're looking at some Battlefield 2, but this was a time where I didn't have a strong enough computer or anything, so I couldn't fucking get into Battlefield. But around 3 is when I was able to play it, starting on console and slowly towards PC, was where destructibility kind of mattered in Bad Company, where you could straight up level fucking buildings, right? Like you could launch a grenade launcher at a wall and you could make a dent in it. So if some dude was hiding behind a wall, you could blow that wall up and then shoot the fucking hell out of the guy behind it. And that was a big deal for Battlefield. It only got bigger and better. Battlefield 4 had the whole Levolution where you could play on the map Siege of Shanghai, which has this big skyscraper in the middle. You could literally blow up the pillar supporting the skyscraper, destroy it, and the map would become smoggier because of all the debris flying in the air. And all maps had that. There was a map called Flood Zone I really liked where you could blow up a dam and literally flood the bottom half, so all the fighting would have to transition to rooftop. So it's destructibility and wide-scale warfare. Yes, for sure. That's what Battlefield is known for. Now, as the series progresses, my only real problem with it is I have to fall off the series after 4 because the Battlefield 1 that had come out, and I mean this one, I played the open beta for it, it definitely feels less like a Battlefield game and more like some Call of Duty game with how restrictive we're going in terms of the openness and the intensity of war that's portrayed in Battlefield.
Can you describe that?
Describe
because
like
it still has 64 players.
So, okay, let me describe it this way. So, like I said in Battlefield 4, you had things like Levolution, and this is from a personal standpoint. In Battlefield 4, the maps themselves were obviously very huge, but there was an aspect of it, like I was telling you earlier, there's 4v4 battling, right? And because there's so many squads playing at the same time, you can pretty much you can actually see a war happening. Like if you look down your sniper scope, right, while you're supporting your team, you could like peek a little bit to the right and see fucking wasteland, like actual like tanks going at it on the other side, right? So you have that intensity. When I'm playing something like Battlefield 1, it's not just there's a supreme lack of content behind it. That's a whole nother story. But I'm feeling that there's less and less of an intensity all around me, right? Like I feel like all the fighting usually is just concentrated to one fucking area versus Battlefield 4.
It's not a whole war,
yeah,
like in the older games.
Because with Battlefield 4, for example, there's like 6 other there's like you're playing Paracel Storm, which is one map. There's like 7 points on Paracel Storm, right? Point A, point B, point C, point D. If I'm fighting on point A for a majority of the game, what I'm saying is point fucking D, which is across the map, has the same level of warfare that we're having at A. So you can literally hear on the radio they're having a shitstorm down there while you're having a shitstorm at your point. I wasn't feeling that in the newer Battlefield games, specifically even the open beta for this, which admittedly was, I think, a smaller map that they showed, which is kind of, I don't know how they showed the new game, really.
You know, I will
basically
say
that sense of all-out war is just not there.
Right.
I think a big thing is map size on this.
Right.
And one thing you mentioned is just intensity. If the map is too big, the action is going to be too scattered, which is going to take away from the overall clustered or intensity of it. One of the things I will give a game like Fortnite credit for, the map is smaller. It's not as big as PUBG. PUBG, there's a lot of downtime between engagement, whereas in something like Fortnite, you're almost always being engaged by enemies, which introduces a feeling of intensity to it. That's something that Battlefield needs to get back to, lowering map size to fit the 64 player mark.
It's not even fitting it. It's like it was fine around a certain era. See, that's not even really the big super concern. For me, the issue is the gameplay just feels so pared down. And the content you're getting, like I said, this is a totally separate thing, but when you look at a game like Battlefield fucking 5, where a lot of people are like, oh, you're getting like 30-something guns. Battlefield 4 had like 80-something guns, so we're already losing content on a game. We're getting less of a game than what we're getting for $60, but that's not really the worst. See, this is something that you guys have heard about the whole SJW shit that's been kicking on Battlefield 5 recently, right?
Yep.
Oh boy.
So Battlefield 5 is one of those games that's taking place in World War II. A lot of people get excited over World War II. I come from a time where World War II games were fucking done to death, and I don't enjoy World War II games. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm in the minority now, but I prefer games that take place in our era of time, like Battlefield 4, Battlefield 2, you know, Modern Warfare or something, where like it's something you can kind of relate to. It's not this futuristic jetpack shit, but it's also not this World War I, let's fire with muskets or some nonsense, because that's fucking totally exciting. For me, when I was hearing Battlefield 5, I was like, maybe this might be a Vietnam War game or a Korean War game, right? Something a little refreshing, you know, because Vietnam, hell yeah, I'd love to see them fucking fire like napalm in this game and in the graphics of today. But we're back to this World War II affair. And the issue with this is that EA is like revising history or some fucking shit. We've got women characters with like prosthetic arms. We've got, and by the way, before I say this, I'm not against the idea of fucking, I'm not a sexist. I don't care if women are in my fucking, I don't give a shit. I don't care about that. What I'm against though is the developers, DICE and EA, basically shaming people for focusing on that and hating them for it, because that's not the only reason people are hating on this fucking Battlefield shit. It's the idea that DICE and EA are using a fucking World War II game, that they're trying to push some political agenda on us, their own, on a game that really doesn't need it. Like, it's a fucking game where you kill people. Half the player base doesn't give a shit what gender they're shooting at, doesn't give a shit what the sexuality of the person is. All I know is my MP40 can lay siege to some dude, so as long as 4 shots does it for him, that's all I care. Or her, whatever, in the Battlefield, you know? That's where I at least stand. I don't know about the rest of the community, but, you know. That's
it's war. It really doesn't have gender. It's as simple as that.
Right.
It's war. War never changes.
But the thing is that people want a World War II game to be fucking historically accurate, which I can understand because Battlefield stands to keep some immersion to its fields, right? Like, if you ever played the other Battlefield games, the coolest things they do is that when you're playing a specific team, right? Like in Battlefield 4, when you're the US versus China, the Chinese have their own set of guns. The Americans have their own set of guns. Both have their own set of vehicles, tanks, aircraft. They even speak in their own native respective languages. You'll hear Chinese call-outs, right? So you start to immerse yourself, right? You feel like you're in... It helps to the overall thing. You're not playing fucking Call of Duty, right? Where Snoop Dogg is telling you to fucking raid Site B. It feels more... How should I say? Authentic. This, it's like, well, prosthetic arms, you've got fucking neutral politics being pushed on everyone. It's not a World War II game. It's some half-assed game that you're pushing out for literally the Battle Royale mode that you think is going to take off,
you know,
I guess.
One thing I will say, in terms of historical accuracy, I like it. I love it when a game has historical accuracy, especially a war game. I'm a history buff myself, so I really do like it when they get into those type of details and actually pay attention to them. However, when it comes to a Battlefield game, I don't expect them to have the attention to detail that a game like Siege has. Just plain and simple, expecting that out of Battlefield, I think is going a little bit far.
I just like the raw intensity. But moving further into it, go ahead.
No, this reminds me of, do you guys remember Brothers in Arms Furious 4?
Yes.
What? Tell me.
You know Brothers in Arms, right? Those games, Gearbox software. Well, they're like grounded entirely on reality. Mm-hmm. With this entire Battlefield 5 shit, it kind of reminds me of that, because Furious 4 was a canceled game which kind of wanted to do the same. It's still based on World War II, but it's going to like a ridiculous extreme, kind of like Borderlands territory. So it kind of feels like the same, because that shit.
What's this called again?
Brothers in Arms. Remember?
Which one?
Furious 4.
Okay, Furious 4.
Furious 4. That was the one.
All right. Is Vin Diesel in it?
And they tried. What's right?
Is Vin Diesel in this?
Oh, of course. There was trailer. People saw the trailer, and there's like over the top, like Native American soldiers and people with machine guns and shit like that. That just didn't fit the game, because the other games were so grounded in reality, kind of like the Battlefield games to a point. And maybe that's something that does not connect with the people with the game, especially the fans. No wonder the game get canned.
Right.
Yep.
Now, the real point over here to bring, now that we've been gushing, I guess I've been gushing over the Battlefield shit, but is the idea of the weird shit that we've sort of seen in the open beta. So I got to play the open beta, wasn't too fucking impressed by it. Like I said, they should call it Battlefield 4 fucking Bill Cosby edition, because I swear to God I was passing out halfway into playing this game.
Topical.
Someone told me to type in white man into it, right? So as I'm playing this beta, at one point it hits my head and I'm like, you know what? Let's try that. Like, what the fuck do they mean? So I open the in-game text chat, right? If you're on console, you don't have in-game text chat, but for PC players, you guys know this meme pretty alive and well. You type in white man into the game and they censor it out like you're saying like a racial slur, a fucking swear word on Habbo Hotel, right? So you get this swear word for white man. DLC is a swear word, and I'm hearing that Titanfall is a fucking swear word. Basically, anything derogatory about the game, or I guess mentioning white boys or something, is banned by DICE, or for some fucking reason. Now you can say brown man, red man, Asian man, green man, fucking whatever in the history of any, I don't know. White man is apparently a banned word. Anything, I guess, slightly offensive is banned. And it's not like fucking Rainbow Six Siege. That had a banning thing to it as well, right? Like, of course, if you write the N word on Siege, you're gonna get fucking banned, right? Like that is toxic, okay? If you go into it hardcore. But writing white man, I don't think you can get banned for saying white man on Siege, right? Like you don't get a toxic ban. This game straight censors you from saying it. So this is a game franchise. This is a fucking new position by DICE where literally the game has less and less fucking content. It's not even, to me, it doesn't even fucking resemble Battlefield anymore. What do you think is the focus point for this development team? To start putting in code where it prevents people from saying white man and all that stupid shit. It's totally backwards game development. All right. They don't know where the fuck they're going. And now this is the target that they're hitting. And to this day, DICE and EA will defend him. They went so far as to say that, man, we really wish Battlefield 1 was so woke that it had fucking otters as playable characters or some stupid shit. So I don't know. It's a weird situation where it's headed to, and Battlefield's not the only game to have fucking done this. There's plenty of franchises where the stupid political shit kicks in, and it just does it for the worst fucking reasons. You know, any game that pushes this theme so heavily and doesn't know how to use it or doesn't understand it properly ends up hitting the fucking gutter. And this game is the next in line to fucking end up that way. The pre-order numbers are terrible. It's not like it. And I get the fact that people pre-order Call of Duty for their betas, and I get that, but Battlefield shouldn't be a fucking slouch. It really shouldn't. But it is.
To put this into perspective for people, my local GameStop, I went there and I decided to do some digging around because I was kind of interested. The Call of Duty, this year's Call of Duty is outperforming in pre-order numbers. It is outperforming Battlefield 5. For every 8 Call of Duty pre-orders, there's 1 Battlefield pre-order.
And that's fucking sad. Like, that actually is sad. Why? Because the thing is, it's not a slouch. They literally are killing Battlefield like EA fucking killed Medal of Honor. Remember that shit? Who remembers Medal of Honor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Medal of Honor. I didn't play it, but I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember
You remember the reboot? What happened to, like, Warfighter and shit? Literally, people got into it. I think the most people that ever touched that game was, like, 600 people. I make a joke of that on stream sometimes where I'll load up the 360 version of the game and get into a lobby by myself because it's that fucking dead, and EA doesn't care. They actually shit-can the series out of it. Not trying to make it better. Let's not fucking make the game better. Fuck it. It's gone. It doesn't make any money. Fuck you. Let's make a mobile game or something, a clicker game of Medal of Honor, and be done with it. And that's
just took it out of rotation after that. It's insane.
It's gone.
Took it out of rotation.
So
it's fucking gone.
It's even sad because this is a company that's so fucking out of touch with their games that, you know, the last year's shit show on Battlefront 2? You guys remember Battlefront 2? The shit.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I do.
Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2, if you don't remember, was the game which like really fucking put loot boxes into the limelight, because that was the game that was the one that started the fucking dialogue to that peak moment. Because EA and all their fucking intelligence literally turned this into like mobile game 353 by pretty much making half of this game unlockable through grinded out microtransaction currencies and loot boxes. This was terrible. And
it wasn't really grinded. It was made specifically to.
Now, to be fair, the narrative for loot boxes was obviously started by the CS:GO scandal,
right?
With the betting websites. but EA is the company that abused it so heavily that countries started having to make laws and had to change case law.
EA literally fucking
existed.
yeah. EA took it to fucking court. Okay, that's how fucked EA is. This is a company that gets the worst company award every fucking year, and they take it with like, I don't fucking care. People are still gonna buy our shit, and it happens. People still buy their shit. Like,
Yep.
I'm just as fucking guilty. I saw Battlefront 2 on sale for like $15 on Xbox One. When your game is on sale for $15, 2 months into its life cycle, you know you fucked up. I'm sorry to say, especially when it's a big game like Star Wars. It's no slouch. You download this game, you run Star Wars, and I had to fucking see how bad this shit was. And it is bad. It is fucking terrible. All right? The game online is absolutely ass to me. I just don't get into it. And now they're turning that franchise into Battlefield. Like, they're putting that gameplay or the mechanics in that shit into this. They got so lazy with fucking Battlefield 5. You want to know what one of the fucking perks are for your gun? Like, one of the unlockable attachments? Guess what it is?
I can't even imagine.
No, just take a fucking guess what you guys think it is, okay? Whatever comes to your head.
So
Laser bayonet.
Laser bayonet. Okay, he's got laser bayonet.
Laser bayonet.
All right,
World War.
Jordan, what about you? You got any quirky ideas for attachments?
What is?
It's Battlefield
is
4, weapon attachments.
Is it earned through gameplay?
what is gameplay for 500?
Yeah,
How many Warframe hours do I have to farm for it?
That's like the major point, because if it's something you have to buy, it's going to be something big and something stupid.
let me get my credit card out real quick. That's what I'm talking about, advancement. But yeah, anyways, whatever. Kyle, you got any quirky attachment ideas?
I would get, this is for Battlefront.
Yeah,
right?
Battlefield 5.
I'm gonna say there's
Battlefield.
I'm saying that you can unlock an Ewok and put it on top.
No,
of
it's
your
Battlefield. Okay, you guys are on the right track. I'll give you that. You get the gold fucking star. Congratulations. This is an unlock for Battlefield 5's guns, okay? Brace yourselves. This is going to fucking blow your mind. I didn't even know this existed in World War II. Faster bullets.
Bullets.
Faster bullets is literally what this fucking company calls it in their game. They didn't go with something like, they didn't give it some cool military name. Nah, just faster bullets. You fucking kill enough people with the MP40, God gives you faster bullets. You want to know how you get your progression items? Oh, this is going to be great. Credits. Not through fucking killing. Not through getting headshots. Not through actually doing a challenge. Credits. That you earn through gameplay, sure. Or you can get a little bit of that credit card fuel running.
But how many points do you win after unlocking the Speedy Pew? What do you do?
It doesn't fucking matter. The point, it doesn't matter, Amari.
Like if it's like a siege situation for me when a character is like 50,000 points and you win 3 each match.
I wish I was tracking how many credits I was earning, honestly, because I don't care.
God damn.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put this in perspective of Battlefront for a second. To unlock, I believe it was Darth Vader, without using any like currency or something, it would take you, I think they said it was something like 30 hours of grinding.
Yeah, and then they had to tone it down because they were going to make you pay $60 fucking for that character.
Yep.
You know? It's not like Siege. Like Siege, when you looked at Siege before they patched, because they had the patch for all operators allowed, like they gave all the base operators to people who buy the game now. When that game first came out, every operator was at the most 2,000 renown. It was the DLC operators that was 25,000 renown. Now, if you play the game actively enough, you'll get that amount of renown. That'll happen if you play it as an active game in your rotation. This is fucking Battlefront, a game you paid $60 for, and to get those basic fucking characters that were part of your $60 purchase, 30 hours of gameplay grinding, fuck, why not?
Yep.
Why the fuck not? You know, that's what we're talking about. Dude, you go onto the main menu of the Battlefield 5 beta, it looks like a fucking mobile game. You want to know the first thing they ask you? Pre-order the game to get this nice new skin, this costume for your fucking character. Eat a fucking...
Do I need to share the game with people to get more lives?
Yeah, you do. You need to spread the fucking gospel of 64-player battle fucking royale. I've seen mobile games with bigger battle royales in this EA. Fuck you. Anyways, though. Yeah, that's all I can really say about SJW Fest 5. It was a game that I look at it at E3 and I'm like, wow, they made it look somewhat hectic. And now I'm fucking derided to see this shit. So I don't know how. It's like watching the death of one of your favorite like childhood franchises, kind of. Well, not childhood.
You know, to be fair, Call of Duty was dying for the longest time, and fucking Battlefield had them on the ropes. They really did, and now they've done this.
Yeah, Call of Duty is coming back with a force. They took the Battle Royale formula and actually fucking perfected it on their end.
I'm surprised Battle Royale's still alive, to be honest.
Battle Royale is one of those game types that won't be going away anymore because it has reached a point where it is more synonymous than first-person shooters were. Because the reality of it is even when first-person shooters gained popularity, that wasn't when gaming was super mainstream. Now everyone is a fucking gamer, dude. You know, somebody playing Farmville right now, they're an esports legend at growing fucking tomatoes. All right, you think it's a motherfucking joke? That dude can fertilize his crops so hard, all he's got to use is his wacky Dr. Seuss address in his wallet. But
something I don't know why, but I thought of a scene that like mixes all of this together like perfectly. Remember that scene from now how everyone is a gamer. Remember that scene from Batman Beyond? The guy saying, "I'll liberate the most oppressed group of all, gamers."
Yeah, I remember that.
Shit. God damn.
Just imagine if games had an agenda for gamers in their games.
It's fucked, man. But
is that actual?
That's the weird thing.
But
it's like who sees agenda and things anyway? Why does it? I get that like people have a problem with that, but like
okay. Everyone has a political side to them.
Well,
like everyone has beliefs.
Let's put it this way: it's still a beta.
No, it's not a fucking beta because it's coming out a month later. Battlefield 5? Get it? You can't call a game that's coming out in a month a beta. It's pretty much the fucking demo.
That's such nonsense. At that point, it is a stress test for servers.
Yeah. It was put out there by DICE to get feedback from the people who played it. That's what it was for. It wasn't the full release.
They might get it, but they don't give a shit about the feedback. They'll still release it like that.
You realize they can have a beta and they're still gonna have server problems day one. This is fucking EA we're talking about. Do they?
Well, is the beta over?
The beta, thank God, it's fucking over. Now I don't have to be in a coma anymore. Yeah.
Well, but there you go. They didn't need to keep it up the entire time until it was released.
Well, no. Yeah.
What purpose do they have to only have it up for like a certain amount of time, if not to get feedback and to see how well it performs?
What do you mean? Like,
well, I'm just saying, like, it seems odd that people are blowing the Battlefield 5 beta propaganda thing out of the water because it was a beta.
Well,
I don't feel like it was put out there that way to.
It was put out there that way though, because when they start censoring words that really don't need to be censored, you can fucking see their politics coming right through. That's the thing.
I understand that. Yeah. But I'm just saying it was, at least from what they've said, some things shouldn't have been blocked and it was a mistake anyway. But their feedback into that let them know that it was there. Because the profanity filter is something they want to do. It's just they fucked up.
There's a profanity filter, but when you're looking at a word like white man, you actually have to code that in yourself. So there was no second guessing.
Problem. If they were censoring the words like if they were
censoring, you know, racist shit,
or damn, or you know, stuff like that, I can see where maybe they would be like, "Oh, we're sorry," but they're censoring things like white man, DLC, you know,
shit that's gonna criticize them. They can't fucking take any of that.
Who the fuck is gonna say Titanfall anyway?
Why the fuck would you censor it? Is the thing.
That's what I mean.
That's just it. If they,
that's what I mean.
How they got caught out, people complained, and they were like, "Oh, okay, we're basically alienating even more of the fan base that might have bought our fucking game that might not do it anymore because it was censored."
Think of Battlefield 5 as an actual SJW human being. Maybe Titanfall is his trigger word. I don't know.
Maybe hearing about a better fucking game is its trigger word.
I don't know. That's just like too specific. Well, to be fair, there's been censorship before, like in games like this. I'm not caught up on this. I pulled it up a moment ago, but I didn't read through it yet. Didn't like Call of Duty World War II like censor the whole Nazism thing?
No, that was a totally separate thing because when you release a game in Germany, you can't show swastikas. So they have Nazism in the single player. It's censored in the German version. But when you're playing on multiplayer servers, you're going to have German players. So You have to play the safe
So
bet.
it has to be. It has to be
that
censored.
was because for them to legally release it in Europe and other parts. I mean, in Germany and other parts of the world that have issues.
And
with
that's
Nazism.
just it. For doing it in those parts of the world, you're obviously not going to.
They weren't
segment
pushing
the fan base on that.
They weren't pushing
no.
something. It's not like they censored the word battlefield in text chat or like a better or siege or something, right? Like they weren't censoring pointless.
That's exactly what I mean. Like it's too specific to be like on purpose. What do they get from putting on an open beta?
What do you mean it's too specific to be on purpose? If it's too specific, it has to be on purpose.
I can understand if DICE
Here's the problem though.
Put through something that was like is a propaganda. That like I get it.
They've been about propaganda though, because if you hear the developers talking,
the whole thing just seems off. So that means that there are words in there that are banned or on the profanity filter that aren't meant to be on there, because what would they get from Titanfall that has nothing to do with propaganda?
Here's the deal. Not only are they going to be pushing a political agenda, they're trying to push the fact that moral agenda, and they're also trying to push not only those, they're trying to stir up publicity because of how bad pre-orders are. They're trying to create controversy.
This is the only thing they can sell
further into the limelight.
The only thing that's going to sell this game right now is how much they even show up in the media, and it's really backfiring against them because nobody's excited about a game. Look, the thing about this beta is like it's not just because the idea of these social issues being pushed on us through this game and this rewriting of history, something that pisses a segment of the fan base off. That's one aspect. There's the gameplay side. People for me that are more worried about gameplay, it pissed me off. And then there's this whole thing, like you're right. If you think it's too specific to be on purpose, the thing is somebody at DICE or EA, fucking whatever, put this into their game, right? I mean, the text chat could have been like, wow, fuck Battlefield 5. Titanfall is a better fucking game. Or this game's going to have a fuck ton of DLC. They're probably censoring that shit because they're sick and tired. I get. They don't want to keep hearing about the criticism because right now, this is the high peak for it. This is literally the Infinite Warfare of the Battlefield franchise. It's just being shit on. It's being shit on hardcore. You guys remember Infinite Warfare, right? That was like the fuck you Activision of that series.
Think about it this way. This is the follow-up to what was Ghosts. Okay, essentially they created Call of Duty Ghosts, which was absolute shit. They created Infinite Warfare.
No, Advanced Warfare.
Basically, Advanced Warfare. Then they made Infinite Warfare, which was just the biggest middle finger to people who were like...
It was like those memes where you see the dude sitting there and the brain starts to like tingle a little.
Yes.
It just reaches max capacity. Oh, fuck, dude. Terrible.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. Literally... Yeah. It is like the fucking thing in The Office where the dude is like, all right, we need something to sell the game. Fucking EA sat down and DICE sat down and they're like, okay, we need something to stir up more publicity to get more pre-orders. And people are listing off fucking, let's censor these words. Let's fucking throw an SJW here. Let's do this. And the one guy at the end of the table, how about we fucking fix our game?
They throw him the fuck out.
Yeah.
This is the thing about it is that the political issues wouldn't even be that big of a problem if it wasn't even DICE and EA themselves defending it like crazy. Like they're putting people who care about this stuff as people who are really like annoying, people who are just trying to get pissed off for something to get pissed off. And yeah, there are people like that for sure. There's people who get pissed off at this shit for no fucking reason. Like I don't give a shit if a woman's in my Battlefield game. Okay, like I said, I don't really look at if my character has a penis or a vagina when I'm shooting at them. Fuck it, I'll just mow them down. They're totally ignoring the fact that their game is a fucking dumpster fire right now. They're just blaming the community for being negative of those who are different. I don't give a shit about who's fucking different. I care about the quality of the game. And right now, it's looking like a crapshoot. People are looking. They haven't even released a beta for their battle royale mode. How good do you fucking think it's going to be if they're not even showing a battle royale mode to play? You think EA couldn't pull that off? They couldn't show it? They're not even bothering. Like, they're just going to dump that shit on us in November and expect people to buy it. And if you don't buy it, then I guess you're a fucking hater. And guess what? You hate progressive parts of the world or something. Or you hate DLC. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with you? Or you think Titanfall's a better game, loser? Well, go load that up. And you know what, EA? Maybe I fucking will, because that is genuinely a better game. So, congratulations. You helped me figure out what was worth it.
EA. To be fair, EA, I can go and play fucking Siege and not get bombarded with microtransactions.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I could do that. That's the thing. If they develop a good fucking game, then people who don't buy microtransactions like me will actually end up buying a microtransaction here and there because we support the quality of a good game. If you release a shitty product and you blame the community around you for not supporting your shitty product and you complain in the end that your shitty product doesn't fucking do so well, then guess what? You fucked up. I'm sorry to say. And I think the story is going to be so sweet if they do fuck up November. In all hopes, I really wish in some magical world by November, fucking this game gets turned around and becomes one of the best Battlefield games out there. But from what I played, from what I've seen, from the shitstorm that is ensuing to this day, I don't think this is going to be worth even getting close to. It's going to be a fucking giant national tragedy. And the furthest, it's going to be the train wreck of all train wrecks. And it's going to be one of those train wrecks that is going to be so fucking pretty to look at. It's going to be the HD, super amazing, slow-mo, 1,000 frame rate train wreck that you're going to watch.
Dude, I can't wait to get
again.
the remake next year.
I fucking, dude, that's the thing. If this is so bad now, I can't wait to see the 4K remaster when the PS5 comes into the market. That's going to be, it's going to be fucking great. But shit. I that's what I wanted to really get out of that. I guess this was kind of cathartic, at least for me, but I feel like this is a topic that I want to talk about once more when this actually hits. I think I want to keep this episode sort of as a first part, and hopefully we don't have to do a second part. But right now in gaming, this is the biggest thing. Right now,
will. You know it.
Right now we're witnessing the fucking birth. I think we're witnessing the end or something of like EA's big franchise, and that's fucking sad. This is not the first time they fucked up with Battlefield. I don't think people are going to forget Hardline anytime soon. So,
oh God,
EA
I actually almost did forget about that.
When you fuck up hard enough, people forget your old fuck ups. I'm not sure, but God damn it. So, what you guys want to end this on? Any?
I think that was.
I think that's decent.
I think that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Just in the grand scheme of things, I mean, everyone is always shit all over EA. Let's be honest here. EA has not had a good history of fucking business decisions, and this game is just another fucking nail in the coffin that's eventually going to kill a great franchise.
I think that was it was brewing the perfect storm for EA because they already having those shitty business practices and now adding an agenda to push. That's like the final drop.
Yeah, I agree.
As we're gonna push it.
I'm still making that the thumbnail for the fucking video, what you just posted in Discord, you fucking ass.
I had to do it.
you know he had to do it to him.
To fucking look to the right, and I was like, why even? Fuck me.
It's such a simple thing. It's such a little thing.
You know what you should have done to that? You should have done the Photoshop effect where it's like the Infinity War fade out thing.
Oh no.
Anyways, though.
Mood not feeling so good.
Anyways, I think this was a pretty decent episode in terms of the political revolution of our video games that we don't fucking need, dude. We play these things to get away from the real world, not to be bombarded by it again. So long story short, everyone is fucking wrong. Okay, EA DICE, you're wrong, and everybody who's complaining about this game for the fucking wrong reasons, and you know who you are, you're fucking wrong. All right, and I guess in the end, we just want to play a good goddamn game. And even if you don't like Battlefield, don't see it fail. We need competition. Who wants to fucking see a bad game, okay? Who fucking looks at a game they don't like and say, oh man, I hope it turns out like shit? Nobody does, okay? Unless you're fucking boring in your life or you have something to hate, all right? This is just where I'm at in the situation. So I think I'm going to end this, all right? If you guys want to say your byes, say your byes.
Well, with that being said, oh God, Jordan, don't pre-order.
Pre-order Battlefield 5.
Make sure to get the digital deluxe edition.
Get the digital deluxe edition. Muda has it. He could share his code.
I'm gonna give you the steelbook set.
Get the special edition that has the RCXD with it.
Go back and rewatch the Silent Hills trailer. It's not pre-rendered. Also.